Ismael Barroso, man, this dude came out and said, enough is enough. I am done with it. I was sitting press row at his last fight, at the fight last year when he fought Rolly Romero, and he just got that ridiculous stoppage loss by Tony Weeks. Ironically enough, we see Tony Weeks in there jumping in a little bit early tonight, getting the stoppage loss, but that's for another video. But Barroso gets the raw deal, right? Everybody knows it. The crowd's booing. You got the announcing team talking about it. You got everybody just looking around like, what is that? Barroso's winning the fight, dude. He was getting disrespected in the build up to that fight, right? Everybody's calling him old man Barroso, all kinds of things like that. Everybody's looking at him, cracking jokes. How quick do you think Rolly Romero is going to get the stoppage? Remember, Barroso came into that fight as a late replacement, right? He wasn't the guy who was supposed to be there. So he's really just stepping up. Everybody felt as though that was being built up just for Rolly Romero to get that world title fight. Ends up getting the knockdown on Rolly and then ends up, looking good in some other rounds. He's winning the fight. Horrible stoppage, right? Raw deal. And, you got to wonder what's going to happen for him after that, right? We all know how boxing is. We all know how dudes get raw deals and nothing ever comes of it. Lo and behold, we see him pop up. Lo and behold, we see him pop up in this fight, and he steps in here, and once again, significant underdog. Once again, people are giving him disrespect in the build up to this fight, right? Once again, they're talking about how he's an old man. What's he going to do? This and that. We see Davies prior to the fight even happening, right? Like last week or something like that, he's calling out Rolly Romero for the world title fight. He's saying he's going to all of a sudden do this and that and make a name for himself. But one thing leads to another, man. Let me tell you, karma is something else, man. Ismael Barroso comes out. He is like, I'm not leaving it up to the judges. I'm not even going to allow the referee to give me a raw deal, right? He said, I'm not leaving it up to anybody, man. He's about a minute into this fight, and he just shuts the door, man. Closes the show, lands a beautiful left hand on Davies. I mean, you saw Davies. He comes in. Look at this. The way he steps in here, brings that back foot forward and just squares himself up right in front of a puncher like Barroso, who's just able to unload that left hand, man. Lights out, follows it up. After the second knockdown, we get the stoppage. And dude, it's hilarious. Of course, in the post fight, he's calling out Rolly Romero. I mean, how could you not? Everybody knows what happened before. Everybody in the build up to this one, he's calling for redemption. Says he wants to go out and get justice. That's exactly what we saw. That's exactly what we saw. I mean, it's hard to break down this fight from any kind of analytical standpoint, from any kind of skill standpoint. I mean, it was over before it started, more or less, right? But I just I can't stop laughing at myself, man. I can't stop smiling. Like I said, I was there, so I witnessed that robbery last time firsthand. So it's just so cool to see a guy who has just been uncelebrated, unknown for the most part. Nobody even knows this dude's name. He steps in on a late replacement and just like that begins to all of a sudden build. And in this one, again, huge underdog. He was like plus 300, plus 350. Nobody was expecting him to come out here and get the win. And then he just comes out here and not only gets in the win, gets it done in emphatic fashion. And afterwards, he calls out Romero, and then Rolly was at the fight. So we see him jump on that. We see him jump on the ring apron after the fight. They're talking a little bit. They're laughing like that's a rematch that we're going to get. So now he's going to get a chance to right the wrongs of the past, man. I mean, he's going to be able to go to the scene of the crime, clean up the evidence. He's going to be done with it. Who knows, right? Who knows? That'll be an interesting fight that we'll get to see what the spring, maybe in the summer, something along those lines. But couldn't be happier for the guy, right? Couldn't be happier for the guy to be able to go out there and do what should have been done correctly last year. Maybe. The fight was still going. It shouldn't have been a stoppage, we'll say that much. Would he have ended up coming out with the win if it wasn't stopped? Quite possibly. Maybe not. Quite possibly, though. Either way, the fight shouldn't have been stopped, right? So he was wronged in that regard. He's able to come out here tonight. He's able to put it all together. So great win for him, man. Awesome story for boxing. It'll be interesting to see how he fares in the rematch. Nevertheless, awesome stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Did you think he was going to be able to come out and get the win in this one? Were you as surprised as I was? And how do you think that rematch is going to look between him and Rolly? Let me know.